to show you something we've been working on here. AI hasn't typically been a big part of what we do at Amalgam, and we're going to continue to focus on our data access, but because we're in such a unique place to improve the way that people interact with automation, and AI is a big part of that these days, we thought it was a great opportunity for us to give people a better interface for working with spreadsheet-based data with AI, and allow them to train their own AIs if that's something that they want to do. So let me show you a few things that our chatbot can do. You'll see we're working with Amalgam templates mostly here, and it's going to eventually be one and the same. It'll all be part of the same product if you want to turn on the AI feature. But you can also do a lot of stuff that isn't related to Amalgam. So I'll show you a few examples. I'm going to copy paste most of these in because you don't want to watch me type for 5 extra minutes as part of this demo. But some simple examples of ways that a chatbot can help you are by doing basic tasks in a spreadsheet, like reformatting data. So I think we probably all know how to make something into accounting format, but what if we want to change the currency symbol? Maybe that's a little bit more challenging. It's something that I don't honestly know off the top of my head how to do, but we can save a little bit of extra time by outsourcing that to our chat assistant. Maybe a more complex ask is actually iterating through the sheet and changing the formats of summary rows. So that's something that might take a user, depending on the size of the sheet, a little while to do. We can save some of that time and do it as quickly as if you had a macro built out specifically for that. Finally, complex formulas. I'm sure some of us, or maybe all of us, use AI-based solutions for things like complicated formulas. Whether or not you know how to do it, it can be nice to just outsource some of that to an AI chatbot. But we'll show one example here where we're creating not super complex formula, but we can obviously insert that directly into the spreadsheet rather than you having to go back and forth and copy pasting. Okay, so far nothing super mind-boggling, but want to show that this is a way we can really insert the action into the point of attack where you're actually doing the work. So one thing I'm sure you spend a lot of time doing is looking at baseball stats and doing analysis of them. Not so much, maybe that's just us. Here's an example of just finding errors. You might have somebody on your team who's built a model, something's not quite adding up, but you can use a chatbot to iterate through, find any errors in the sheet, and then help you figure out what they are. Obviously, it can be very efficient at tracing precedents or understanding kind of complex formulas in a way that's common language. So we can just have the bot go in and change our error, which in this case was just a typo, but obviously there's a lot more depth that you can go into. Okay, so far that's all basic input-output stuff with Excel, but you may actually want to train your own chatbot. So you can see I've got a model select here, and we've got a bot that we've been doing a, let's be honest, pretty poor job of training so far, but this is something that we can apply to lots of cases where you have client-specific information, chart of accounts, stuff related to the way that a specific business works. You may want to train a specific model to do that work for you so that in several months' time, certain tasks are effectively done for you. So this is going to be an example of a sort of executive summary that you might be able to output. So this is going to be much less about changing formulas, more about ingesting or digesting the data in a sheet. Again, you can see this is just an Amalgam template. You could run this based off of data that you download directly from Amalgam. And it's going to prepare a sort of executive summary about the fluctuations in the data in here. Obviously, you could also do something like we could go down here and make this, and we could have it help us make that calculation. So it's going to actually fetch all the account names in column P and use that to figure out which are the relevant cells to divide by one another. And then finally, and perhaps most relevant to the sort of bulk work of closing the books, account mapping. So this is something where you can train a model on the past general ledger data of one of your clients and make it so that it's really good at knowing exactly which accounts on the chart of accounts go with which transactions. So this is just a bank report, again, another Amalgam report, and we're going to just ask it to code the transactions and give us a confidence margin. Obviously, all this data will continue to get better as time goes on, but we're reading the data from the spreadsheet right now so that we can send it back to the model that we've been training. Now, the quality of this output is going to depend drastically based on the quality of the model and the quality of the training. This is something that we want to handle for you because we have a lot of data at our fingertips, especially using Amalgam templates to help the AI learn exactly how it should be applying this data. And here you go. You can see it applied at least the specific chart of accounts of this business. Certain it wasn't sure about, so it didn't create data for that. But we could then go and give a score to all of this data and use that to actually train the model and improve things going forward. So hopefully you can see that while we can solve certainly some regular way Excel problems and just the efficiency of using Excel or using any spreadsheet tool, we can also do a lot of stuff that other tools out there are maybe missing, which is the real value, I think, to a lot of you out there, is the ability to actually use AI, train AI, and have your own internal sort of IP that you're creating, your own internal tooling that we're able to just deliver straight into an Excel sheet. Obviously, we're eventually going to make this a big part of what we do. You'll be able to control Amalgam data sets, Amalgam templates, and even fetch data directly using the AI bot if that's something that you want to turn on for your account. But this is just a little preview of what it can do today and what you might be able to play around with very soon.